Warning, this podcast discusses movies freely and may contain spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie before, please watch the movie before listening. Let's get into it. Salute. Welcome back to Movie Talk. I am your host, Rick. We are back in the building. Back with another episode of Movie Talk. I am your host, Rick. Feel free to hit the link in the show notes to check out the network. Also, please comment. Follow the podcast, share the podcast. I definitely would appreciate that. Went to the movies. When did we go to the movies? A couple of days ago. Was the day before yesterday, Saturday. I think we went to the movie Saturday. Went to the IMAX, me and my wife and kids. Again, I love going to the movies. That's why I started this podcast. I'm a big movie head. And when something's in the theater worth watching, I'm definitely in there. I went to the IMAX, big movie theater too, and we went on a Saturday, and it was kind of empty. We caught the 9:15 movie. Theater was rather empty, and there was a couple other people, but this is probably the biggest movie theater I've been in. The screen was ridiculous. It's like three flights of stairs. You know what I'm saying? I was on Instagram. And you can follow me on Instagram at Rick_BHR. But I was after the movie, I'm coming down and I'm filming the floor, right? Because I like the lights that they had on the floor, whatever the case. And I almost tripped, fell down the theater steps trying to record. But yeah, it was like 3 flights of stairs type situation. Huge movie theater. Good time. You know what I'm saying? Good time. We went to see Mercy. Okay. Went to see Mercy. And before going, I had listened to a couple of podcasts and, I heard people say they didn't like the movie. You know what I'm saying? Now, me personally, I don't go by what other people say. I got to go see it for myself, because you may like it. I may not like it. I may not like it. You may like it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll definitely listen to somebody's opinion on the movie. One, that's not going to stop me from going to see the movie. I'm going to go see it regardless if it's something that I want to see. So I've heard some mixed reviews on the movie. My daughter actually wanted to go check it out. So, family night, movie night, let's roll. We out. The overview of the movie, okay, is set in the near future. An advanced AI judge tells captive detective that he's on trial for the murder of his wife. If he fails to prove his innocence within 90 minutes, he'll be executed on the spot. Okay, so what that means is in this futuristic type of scenario, right? You're basically in an electric chair type of situation. And you have to prove your innocence from the chair. You got 90 minutes. For whatever your crime is, they're like, hey, man, he's on trial. This is a detective. He's on trial for the murder of his wife. Okay? And it's you got an AI judge, and they got all the camera, all the evidence. You're guilty. You know what I mean? You're basically guilty. You have to prove to them that you didn't kill your wife. That concept alone, I think is dope. You know what I'm saying? I think it's dope. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple more movies like this. Mercy 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever they want to call it, just with this same type of same type of of course the same type of scenario, just different type of stories. You know what I mean? Uh I don't know why people didn't like this movie. I really enjoyed this movie. It was a good watch. It's action. It got some thrill in it. You know what I mean? Some twists and turns. Um, and I like to when I go to a movie, I like to be like, damn, if that was real, that would have been crazy. You know what I mean? And I that's what this is one of the movies. Like if this situation was real, that would be a wild situation to be in. Imagine you saying, "Hey man, my wife, I didn't kill my wife. I don't know what happened to her. I didn't kill her. All the evidence is stacked up against me. Everything. They got access to every single camera in the world, phones, all type of just futuristic, they got all the evidence stacked up against this man. And you are in a chair, shackled, feet, hands, you can't go nowhere. If the 90 minutes goes out, you're done on the spot. Okay, they're not taking you nowhere. They're getting rid of you on the spot. Now, I think that's a fire concept for a movie. You understand? It has a level of thrill to it that's appreciated. And what made it good was, there was times where dude was like, "Did I do it?" You know what I'm saying? Because he's a detective. And he had some alcohol problems. His partner has got, spoiler alert, his partner got, into a situation and that led him into alcoholism. So for a minute, he was like confused, like, could I have done this? But what makes this good is, again, he's a detective and he has access to everything. Saying so it's like they got the ring camera of him going into the house, what time he went in, what time he came out, him driving up. So it's cameras and everything. So he can call somebody, he can get into their phone. He could call his daughter, he could call his friend, he had his partner help, like, you know what I mean? Like he got to walk the crime scene, you know what I mean? Like, so everything is like plugged in digitally. Which is also a scary thing because it's like, man, this world really depends on, basically digital. This world is strictly like, man, if the internet shut down, a lot shuts down. You know what I'm saying? But he was able to walk the crime scene, with his partner or whatever the case, and he can see exactly what she sees as she's going through the scene. So he's like, wait, go over there, look at that, let me see that. What does that say? You know what I mean? So that's good. And excuse me, like I said, it's just a really dope concept for a movie. Like he really had to prove his innocence, and it's a thing too. It's like let's say if it's 100%, it's 100%. You have to get your innocent level down to under like 95%, right? You got to get it down to under 95%. So, as he's going on and he may cast some type of doubt somewhere in a particular area, or he might make, sense over here. And then they may say, oh, your guilt level has dropped to, 97%. You know what I mean? Or your guilt level dropped to this, or your guilt level dropped to that. And, it's a nail biter. You know what I mean? It's definitely a nail biter. I definitely recommend checking it out. If you like a thriller, action, suspense type of situation, this is the type of movie for you. Sometimes a movie can get boring, have like boring parts, whatever the case. I didn't get bored. I was like, oh, me and my wife was sitting there like, oh wow, you know what I mean? Because again, it's not an easy, predictable movie, and I think that a lot of movies need to really focus on the predictable aspect of it. Sometimes you could be watching a movie that could be, deemed a thriller, and you already knew who did it, how they did it before halfway through the movie. You know what I'm saying? I like to not know. And another thing though, I don't like when I watch movies, I don't necessarily watch and try to figure out who did it. You know what I mean? I might be like, yo, I think this might happen, whatever. But I don't go too hard trying to solve the case before the case gets solved. I like to be in the moment of watching the movie and then be shocked at the outcome. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's just obvious, due to the writing or whatever the case. Sometimes it's just obvious that this is about to happen and you can see it. Then you're like, damn, like I wish they would have jazzed it up a little bit. I didn't want to know what was going on, the first 5 minutes into the movie. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, Mercy, this is definitely a good watch. I don't really want to give it away, you know what I mean? Because it's a fairly new movie, but if I come on here and I talk about a movie from 10 years ago, I'm going all in. You know what I mean? But I am going to get a spoiler alert tag in the beginning, because, sometimes when you're talking, you give up too much of the movie, whatever the case. But yeah, by next episode, I should be having the tags and all that. But I just want to get on here and tell y'all, man, this is Movie Talk, and I do recommend going to check out Mercy. It's a good watch. Go watch it before it leaves the theater, man. We got to support good movies while they're in the theater. Again, you can watch it at home, whatever the case, but man, watch it in the theaters. If you could get to the theaters and you got a couple dollars, go watch it. It's a good movie. I'm never going to recommend nonsense. That's not what I do. I don't waste my time watching nonsense movies. Nonsense movies irritate me. BS movies irritate me. You know what I'm saying? And I hate when I watch a movie and then it has a whack ending and all that. We'll talk about some bad movies on here too, but right now we talking Mercy. Definitely a good movie. Dope concept. I really want to see another reiteration of the movie. For real. It's labeled a sci-fi thriller. Hour 41. Good time. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, I think you'll enjoy this movie. Go give it a shot. I haven't created my rating system yet. Hopefully by next podcast, I'll have that as well. But, I recommend it. You know what I'm saying? I recommend it. And again, if you're new to this podcast, what I do here is I talk about movies that I've seen, you know what I mean, past and present. I'm a movie head. I grew up in the golden era of movies, so we definitely gonna dip back into the golden era. These last couple of episodes was new movies that I literally just seen. Because again, if I go to the movies, I'm gonna come right in here and talk about it. So. But my era, man, they not making movies like they did in my era. And there's a lot of movies that I want to talk about from my era that you might not have seen and some that you might have seen. The point of this podcast is to put you on to movies that you might not have seen. You get what I'm saying? So hopefully I'm connecting with people from that's not necessarily from my era, so they can go back and be like, oh, snap, this was dope. You know what I mean? And we build community. Also, if you're listening to this podcast, do me a favor. Check the show notes, hit the link, and subscribe. Follow my other podcasts. Follow this podcast as well. Leave me a comment. Let me know what movies I should check out. Let me know what movies I need to review. I'm really trying to build community. You can hit me on Instagram at Rick_BHR. Wherever you're listening to this podcast, leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to build a community around movies. So if you're a movie head like me, let's shoot me some ideas on what movie you want me to talk about the podcast, and I'll do it. But like I said, man, yeah, we're gonna get back next episode, man. We're gonna be back into that golden era of movies, and we're gonna be talking, man. So again, if you haven't seen any of these movies that I'm talking about, trust me, do yourself a favor, go check it out. If I'm telling you the movie's good, you can take my word on it. You understand? If I'm telling you the movie's whack, it's probably whack. But again, you don't have to take my word on it. Go check it out for yourself. Come up with your own conclusion. You understand what I'm saying? But this is Movie Talk. I recommend Mercy. Go check it out. Holla at me. I'm gone.
Peace.